Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the macroeconomic concept. Okay, macroeconomic concept. Now, the thing which we are going to discuss about this business environment is called as microeconomic concept. Okay, in the previous lecture we have discussed about the factors. Okay, the factors are called as economic factors. The factors which we have discussed about the business environment factors. Okay, and its implications. Okay, over here we have seen the different business environment factors. Okay, we have also seen the important factors from the different categories, that is called as social factors, economic factor, cultural factors, geographical factors, technological factors, political factors, legal factors, ecological factors, market condition, and related factors. We have also seen the government and administrative factors and the locations factors. Okay, now we are going to see the next concept, which is very much important, that is called as a microeconomic concept. Okay, what do you mean by macroeconomic? First of all, micro and macro. Okay, micro means a individual and macro means an aggregative level. Okay, over here macroeconomic emphasizes a variety of concepts and variable, but there are three central topics of macroeconomic research. Macroeconomics theories usually relate the phenomena of output, unemployment, and inflation. Outside the macroeconomic theory, these topics are also exactly important to all economic agents, including workers, consumers, producers. Okay, now the main motto of microeconomic concept which they have included in the business environment is to find out the customer's behavior. Over here they also have to find out different things such as inflation and recession, inflation and deflation categories. They also need to find out the unemployment rate. Okay, they also need to find out the output and income. Okay, because all these stuffs, all these things we are not going to calculate individually, right? We are going to calculate in an aggregative way. I mean to say in sum. Okay, we are going to find out each and everything. So first of all we are going to discuss the output and income. Okay, national output is a total value of everything a country produces in a given time period. Okay, everything that is produced and sold generates income. Therefore output and income are usually considered equivalent, and the two terms are often used interchangeably. Okay, over here output can be measured as total income, or it can be viewed from the production side and measure as a total value of final goods and services, or the sum of all value added economy. Okay, national income is a total value of everything a country produce. Okay, always remember that whatever the companies are, whatever the countries is producing, that is called as our national income. Okay, okay, so over here macroeconomic objective, macroeconomic output is usually measured by gross domestic product. Okay, and other national accounts, there are other things also, right? National income is also included in that, in it. Okay, economic interest in a long run increased in total study economic growth. Okay, advances in technology, communication of machinery and other output, better education, and the capital, human capital, all leads to increased economic output over time. Always remember that how our economic growth and economic development occurs. Do you know how we are able to increase our economic growth and economic development? There are certain factors that we have to see. Now I will give you a few examples. Now see, if we are now you also know that from the year 1991, from the year 1991 we have started the policy that is called as LPG policy, right? LPG means liberalization, privatization, and globalization. When Narsihar Rao is our prime minister, at that time, you know, this policy came into the existence, right? And due to this, lots of FDI, I mean to say foreign direct investment, came into the India to do investment, right? Or the huge amount of companies are coming from outside the India. They are coming in India for for increasing the business. Over here, what are the things we required? What are the things we required? We required to have a proper employment opportunities. We required to have a proper standard of living of the people. Yes, definitely our economic growth should also be grow, right? So all this stuff we required. Okay, we required to decrease our unemployment level, due to which this foreign direct investment is always being a beneficial part for us in case of decreasing the employment rate, because with the help of this foreign direct investment, we are going to generate a huge amount of opportunities in the field of employment, right? Due to which lots of people are getting the employment facilities. So they are also getting the opportunity to standardize their living, right? So this is also one of the important concept. Now now with the help of this employment generation, what we are going to get? We are going to get a growth in the form of development of the country, right? In the form of standardize our living. And we can also able to we can also able to get a new innovative techniques. We can able to utilize the new innovative techniques as well. Okay, the innovative techniques which we are utilizing now, that is also a better quality, right? We can also able to compete with the international market. That is also a beneficial part, right? So all this stuff is very much necessary, and with the help of this stuff we can able to increase our standards living. Okay, now as in the book also they have told that advance in technology, accumulation of machinery and other capital, and better education and human capital also lead to increase economic output over time. Okay, these terms is also being beneficial for us. Nowadays you can see uh, we have also doing a trade in foreign countries, right? There is also a huge amount of companies in foreign, those who required goods from us, right? Even if you take an example of China, right? We are taking a huge amount of goods from China, right? Take an example of toys as well. In the field of mobile as well, we are taking the mobile from China's company as well. So there are huge amount of commodities that we are importing from China. And Chinese products are very cheapest one. I mean to say the price is also very low. So with the help of this, we are getting the benefit of utilization of that product, right? So over here, what we have to see that the product which we are getting from the Chinese, okay, they are selling that product in the cheapest price. So we are getting that opportunity to have the product with the minimum rate. Definitely we are getting that opportunity. But the thing is that we are also facing a huge amount of problem, because Indian entrepreneurs are not able to get the product properly. They are not able to increase their sales, because there is a competition of the product from Chinese people, right? Because we are exporting the goods from foreign, we are importing the goods from foreign, due to which Indian entrepreneurs, they are facing the problem. Indian businessmen, they are facing the problem. They are not ready to produce more kind of goods, due to which we are not able to find out the solution of this problem. So this is also an important aspect that we have to solve. Okay, then unemployment. Definitely, as I've told you, unemployment is the biggest problem that we are facing. But up to the mark, with the help of this FDI, we are able to solve the problem. But today also, if you look at the current scenario, lots of people are unemployed, right? And lots of people are also living below poverty line. Why they are living below poverty line? Because they are unemployed. They are not getting the job. So people who are retired, pursuing education, or discouraged of seeking work by a lack of job prospects are excluded from the labor force. Definitely, they are not ready to get an opportunity. So, फिर उसको we are not saying that they are a workable people, right? Because they are not ready to get the job. They are not ready. I mean to say they are willing to do the job, but they are not able to get the job because there is no opportunity of job availability. So this kind of things is also happening. Next one, unemployment can generally broken down into several types that are related to different cases. Now see, there are few unemployment scenarios that we are going to study now. One is called as a classical unemployment, occurs when wages are too high for employers to, to be willing to hire more workers. Okay, wages may be too high because of minimum wages laws and union activities, like consistent with classical and unemployment. Fractional unemployment occurs when appropriate job vacancies exist for the workers, but the length of time needed to search for and find the job leads to the period of unemployment. Okay, so this is also one of the important fractional unemployment process. Then third one is called as structural unemployment. Okay, structural unemployment covers a variety of possible causes of unemployment, include a mismatch between worker skills and the skills required for the open jobs. Always remember that, you know, people is having some technical skills, but they are not having the job opportunity of that position. So you know, unfortunately they have to work in uh, different job, you know, which is not related with their qualification and with their practical knowledge. But even though they are ready to do the job, but still they are not getting, still they are not able to do the job because they are not having that technical skills, right? Suppose if a commerce person, if a commerce background person, student we can say, if he is doing the job of mechanical engineer, do you think he can able to do? No, he cannot able to do, because he is having a different skill, and mechanical engineer is having some kind of technical skills. So the skills which required for the technical engineering people, the commerce person is not going to have that skill. So you can see the difference, right? That is called as structural employment, because the vacancy which is there, which is not related to your the vacancies which is there, but it is not related to your which is not related to your what we can say, which is not related to your uh, position, then you cannot able to do that job, right? Large amount of structural unemployment can occur when the economy is translating. Industries and workers find their previous set of skills are no longer in demand. Okay, structural unemployment is similar to fractional unemployment, since both reflect the problem of mismatching workers with job vacancies. But structural unemployment covers the time needed to acquire new skills, not just a short-term skills process. Okay. Always remember that there are few types of unemployment, as we have discussed. Structural unemployment, cyclic unemployment is also them, one of them. Okay, what do you mean by cyclic unemployment? Cyclic unemployment occurs when growth stagnates. Okay, if you see, if you look at the position of cyclic unemployment over here, what are the things you are going to see when you know, in the in the thing of cyclic unemployment, the employment rate is very high at this stage, because you know, there is a imperial relationship between the unemployment and economic growth. Okay, seasonal unemployment is also one of the important aspect. What do you mean by seasonal unemployment? Seasonal unemployment means the unemployment thing which is happened with the season, right? Suppose, you know, in some season the workload is very high, right? At that time you can able to do the job, but you know, in some season the workload is very low, so that you know, the company start layoffing you. I mean to say, the company start disrecruiting you. I mean to say, the company is layoffing the employees. At that time of period you are not having the job opportunity. Okay, then we are going to see the inflation and deflation. What do you mean by inflation? Inflation means what? Inflation simply means when there is a general price level increases and the value of money is decreases. At that time it is called as a inflation rate. Okay, when prices decreases there is a deflation. Okay, when price decrease there is a deflation. When there is a general price increase across the entire economy is called as inflation. When the price decreases there is a deflation. Economics measure these changes in prices with price indexes. Okay, inflation can occur when the economy becomes overheated and grows too quickly. Okay, always remember that when inflation is more, when inflation is more, definitely the prices, the price level increases. I mean to say, the price of the food is also very high. The price of product is also increases tremendously because there is a high rate of inflation. As I've told you, what do you mean by inflation? When there is a general price level increase and the value of money decreases. Yes, if any prices increase, if any product price increase, definitely the value of money is decreasing because of the increase in the price. So at this stage, what we should do at the time of inflation, that we are going to see in the upcoming slides. Okay, inflation can occur when the economy depends overheated and grow too quickly. Similarly, a declining economy can lead to deflation. Okay, central bankers who control the country's money supply try to avoid changes in general price by using monetary policy. Rising interest rate or reducing the supply of money in an economy will reduce inflation. Inflation can lead to increased uncertainty and other negative consequences. Deflation can lower economic output. Central bankers try to establish protect price to protect economics from the negative consequence of price changes. Okay, changes in price level may be result in several factors. Okay, now let us see the factors that helps to to reduce the price. The quality of theory of money hold the changes of the price level and directly reflect the changes of the money supply. Okay, over here, one thing you have to take into the consideration, that bankers plays an important role to decrease the inflation rate, because there are few things which is in the hand of bank to to decrease the level of inflation, right? Suppose the inflation is increasing tremendously. What the bank can do? Can you tell me what the bank can do if there is a increase in the level of inflation, right? So you can see the direct uh, you can see the direct response from the market. Definitely uh, the product of the company can grow, right? The price of the price of the product is going to be high, right? Over here, you have to minimize the price, because with the higher price, definitely the richer person, those who are there, they can able to purchase that product, but the middleman person or the lower income group people, they are not able to purchase that product. So you also have to decide from this point of view as well. Okay, so changes in price level may be result in several factors. The quantity theory of money hold that changes in price level can directly relate to changes in the money supply. Okay, so we have discussed in the previous lecture also, we have discussed about the business environment. We have also discussed about the microeconomic concept, right? Right, at this stage we have discussed about the microeconomic concept. Then we are also going to see the concept of consumption, right? In the microeconomic concept, we have discussed about the output, unemployment and inflation rate. Now we are going to discuss about the consumption rate. Okay, consumption is a major concept in economics and is also studied in many other social sciences, right? Economists are particularly interested in the relationship between the consumption and income, and therefore in economics, the consumption function plays an important role. Okay, different schools of economics define production and consumption differently. According to the mainstream economics, only the final purchase of goods and services by individual constitutes consumption, while the other types of expenditure, in particular, take an example of fixed investment, immediate consumption, and government spending, are placed in the separate categories. Okay. Okay. Consumption का मतलब, what do you mean by consumption actually? Consumption means what? Whenever you purchase any kind of product, if you consume that product, that is called as consumption. Okay. Over here, over here, whatever the things which you are purchasing finally, that comes under head of consumption. Okay, now another important part that we are going to see, that is called as saving. Always remember that saving plays an important role in every common person, because you know, in this period, you know, saving is also very much important, because saving is the income not spent, or we can say it's a deferred consumption. Okay, suppose if you are having certain amount of salary, and out of which, you know, 60% you are doing the saving, definitely that amount is going to be helpful in future. Okay, in future you are going to utilize that kind of money. Okay, so always remember that saving also includes reducing expenditure such as recurring cost. In terms of personal finance, saving specifies low risk preservation of money in the deposit account versus investment, wherein risk is higher. Okay, saving differs from saving. The former refers to an increase in one's assets and increase in net worth, while the latter refers to one part of the one assets. Actually, deposits in saving account or all of one assets. Saving refers to the activity occurring over time, a flow variable, whereas saving refers to the something that exists at any one time, fixed stock variable. Okay, always remember that saving plays an important role in every common people life, right? Saving is a necessary factor. If you are having saving, definitely, you know, you can able to take any big product, right? Any product which you require to take for the necessity. Okay, so always remember that saving also plays an important role to increase the national growth level as well. Okay, national income, it is also helpful for increase the national income, uh, because you know, when you do huge amount of saving, definitely you're going to utilize this saving for the investment purpose, right? In that period also, your national income is going to grow in future, right? saving also Saving is also related to investment. Always remember that when you do any kind of investment, as I've given you the example now only. Okay, not only using income to buy consumer goods and services, it is possible the resources to instead to to invest by being used to produce fixed capital, such as factories and machinery. Always remember that if you are having a huge amount of saving, definitely you can purchase a big quantity of good as well, right? Suppose if you want to do the business at that time, you know, if you are having a huge amount of saving, definitely that saving amount is going to be invested in the business as well. So this is an important point, and you should also have to think about it, right? Because saving plays an important role in any consumer's life. Okay, increased saving does not always correspond to increased investment. Okay, if saving are under matter, okay, always remember that when you are having a huge amount of saving, definitely that saving is going to be helpful for you to standardize your living, or to, you know, to expand the business as well, because you know, you are doing a saving, then that saving amount can be utilized for the good purpose as well, right? For that purpose, you can, you know, it also helpful for you to get a fixed capital kind of commodities, taken as in the book they have given the example of factories and machinery. You can able to purchase that kind of product also, which can help you to contribute for the economic growth as well, right? It is also helping helpful for you to increase your economic growth. So that is also important part. Okay, investment. Okay, the another important part is called as investment. Always remember that investment is also related to saving only, because investment is involved in many areas of the economy, such as business management and finance, whereas household, firms, and government. Okay, always remember that investment plays an important role. In finance, investment is putting money into the assets with the expectation of capital appreciation, right? Usually over a long term future. It may or may not be backed by research and analysis. Most of all forms of investment involve some form of risk, such as investment in quantities, property, or even fixed interest securities, which are subject to inter which are subject to inflation risks. Okay, always remember that in finance, investment plays an important role. Whatever you do in the form of investment, definitely you should get a proper result on them, right? Suppose if you decided to start your new business, definitely you require an investment. You require to have a good amount of investment to start a new business, right? You have to make an investment in a particular thing with the help of which you can get a good result in future. So that also important part, that also you have to see. Okay, then we are going to see the next part, that is called as social environment. Social context refers to immediate physical and social setting in which people lives, in which sometimes happen or develop. It includes the cultural that our individual was educated or lives in, and the people and the institutions with whom they interact. Okay, interaction may be in person or through communication media, even we can say a one-way communication or two-way communication, right? So over here, you also have to see the things which you are going to do in the form of business. You also have to see the society's point of view as well. I mean to say, it should be beneficial for the society, right? Because whatever product you are producing, the society are the person those are used to consume your product, right? So over here in this business scenario, you also have to see the product which should be helpful for the society to accept that product. I mean to say, you are going to produce any kind of product, definitely the people of that particular area, they are going to consume your product, and you should make the product such a way that it should be affordable for the consumer to purchase that product, right? So next one is a cultural environment. Okay, this concept first used by the European people in the year 18th and 19th century, right? This cultural. Okay, now in 20th century, culture emerged as a central concept of anthropology. Okay, encompassing the range of human phenomena that cannot be attributed to generic inhabitants. Okay, the involved human capacity to classify the represent, experiment with a symbol, and act imaginality and creativity. Okay, political environment, technical environment. Always remember that government action that affects the operation of the companies and business. These actions may be on local, regional, national, or international level. Okay, business owner and managers pay close attention to the political environment to gauge how government action will be affect the company. Always remember that whatever product you are producing, definitely the government are the person those are going to give you the permission, right? Because you also have to pay the tax, right, for any product, right? There is a criteria given: 5%, 10%, 18%, 24%, the tax slab. Okay, and you also have to pay the GST, right, for any product which you purchase. Okay, for any product, even if you manufacture, at that time also you have to pay the money to the government, right? So always remember that it's a responsibility of the business manager, it's a responsibility of the business owner to pay the tax on time, right? Then we are going to see the technological environment. External factors in technology that implies business operation. Changes in technology affects how the company will do business. A business may have to dramatically change their operating strategy as a result of change in the technological environment. Okay, now see, always remember that external factors in technology that impact on business operation. Always remember that external factors means what? External factors includes the innovative techniques, right? because it also includes your location of the business as well, right? If your business is near to the consumers area, definitely your product is going to be have more demand because you are selling the product near to the consumers, right? But if your product is not near to the consumers, definitely it require little bit of time to reach towards the consumers, because lots of manufacturing unit, if you see, they are in the rural area only. Okay, they start their business in rural area because in urban area the retailer shops are more, right? In urban areas you can see retail shops are more, but in rural area if you go, you will see more, if you see more manufacturing unit, and even the wholesalers are more in rural areas only. If you go to the urban area, you will find more retail shops. Okay, sorry, manufacturing shop is also more in rural area. But if you go to the urban area, you will find more retail shops, right? So over here, if you want to start your business, if you want to grow your business, the thing which is required for you is to increase the business rate, right? How you can increase your business? By making, by adopting a new technological innovative things, right, in your business, right? Because you should utilize the upcoming technologies, then only your business can stand into the market, right? Because nowadays it's a customer oriented market. You also know that the difference between customer oriented market and the difference between sales oriented market, right? Customer oriented market means what? Customer oriented market means the market which is having a customer demand, right? I mean to say, uh, the customer test and preference are given more preference, right? And in the sales oriented market, the seller are the boss. I mean to say, the seller are the person, those who fix the prices, right? And he can sell at his own interest and at his own time. Okay, that is called a sales oriented market. In the sales oriented market, the you know when sales oriented market occurs, at that time, when the product availability is very less, at that time, sellers get a huge amount of demand from the customers, right? And at that time, seller can increase the product price as well. Okay, because the availability of the product is very less into the market, so that definitely they knows that demand of the product is there. So what they will do, they will increase the price of the product, right? And with the help of this, increment in the price, definitely they are going to face the problem. Who? Customers are going to face the problem, because they are not having any kind of option, any kind of other option, so they have to purchase that product. And you know whatever the amount the seller want, you have to give the amount. I mean to say, the customer have to give that amount. Okay, it's a kind of monopoly market. I mean to say, seller oriented market is a kind of monopoly market. We cannot say full monopoly market, but I mean to say, it depends upon the customer wills, right? But sorry, it depends upon the seller wills. Okay, in customer oriented market, customer oriented market is uh, very effective. I mean to say, because with the help of this customer oriented market, uh, companies try to change their preference, try to change their taste, try to try to provide the product as per the customer needs, due to which the customer can happily consume that goods. And with the help of this, customers plays an important role over here, because customers preference is there. So we have seen the technological environment, political environment. We have also seen the cultural environment, social environment, investment policies, right? Saving policies, consumption also we have seen. We have also seen the microeconomic concept, uh, business environment concept. Okay, at this stage we have discussed a lot about each and every concept, right? All right, we have also seen about the business environment point. Okay, Now in this chapter, the main focus is it's to be given in the business environment, right? Because your first chapter fully determines the introduction part of business environment. Okay, over here, the objective they have given, you should know what do you mean by, you should know the business environment meaning and its factors and how these factors are being implemented, that you should know. Okay, okay, so this is the important concept from your exam point of view, the first chapter that is called as business environment. In this concept we are also going to see little bit, we are also going to see uh, we are also going to see little bit about the implementation of the work. Okay, over here in business environment we have also seen the components, right? There are political environmental components, educational environmental components, technological environmental components, right? In the technological environmental components we have also we should also have to see the other parts that I have discussed with you. And again I will discuss with you little bit. Yeah, accelerating the rate of technological change. Always remember that the technological change that we are doing, which is being more helpful from the customer point of view, because you know customer get a huge amount of varieties. Okay, due to which you know they can having a more options. With the help of that options they can they can purchase what they want, right? Because you know in urbanized sector, in the urbanized area, take an example of Mumbai and Pune, you will see a huge amount of competition out there, right? So you know by having huge amount of competition the customers get an advantage. Okay, because you know at this stage perfect competition kind of policies are being implemented. Okay, now the next concept which we are going to discuss is unlimited innovative opportunities. Innovational opportunities, always remember that while discussing about the technical environment we should also have to take the important concept that is called as innovative techniques, because nowadays you also know that it's a customer oriented market, right? Customer In the customer oriented market we should know how to produce the good which will help to you know which will help to satisfy the customer demand, right? You have to make such kind of product. Now you can also see, I will give you few practical example. Now I would like to give you example of mobile phones, right? Nowadays you know lots of mobile phones companies are there into the market, in Indian market, and you know they are they are trying to come with new features, right? So that it will attract the customers, and you know the customer will prefer to buy that kind of product. So there are huge amount of companies are available. Take an example of Motorola, right? Samsung, Oppo, Vivo. They are also doing a huge amount of expenses on the advertisement as well, due to which you know they are really making a huge amount of advertisement to you know to make aware that this kind of product is there into the market, to make aware to the customers, to make aware to the people that this kind of product is available in the market. So this this unlimited innovation opportunities are always being beneficial for the customers, and it is also beneficial for the businessman also, because you know if businessman utilize the innovative techniques, definitely customer are going to take the goods from him, because he is coming with the new technique, right? He's coming with the new technique, which is always being a beneficial part for him. Okay, then we are also going to see a high research and development. Over here you can see, if there is a technical environment in your business side, definitely there will be a high innovation, and I mean to say high research and development activities also. Okay, then next part that we are going to discuss about the increased rules and regulation and technological change. Always remember that there are few rules and regulation that we have to follow, right? Because you know while doing this technological changes, you should not go with the wrong way. I mean to say you should not go with the uh, government guidelines. I mean to say wrong way in the government guidelines, because government has given a particular guidelines for each and every product formation, right? You should also have to follow each and every product formation, right? So always remember that whatever product you are purchasing from the market, it should be properly packed. It should be given whatever the information which is given in the product. It should always be included that thing into the product, right? Because sometimes sometimes some in some product the information is given, but actually it is not being included in the product. This kind of things is also happening in the market. So if you find any such kind of things, definitely the owner of the company is going to pun is to the owner of the company is going to get punished. So this kind of things is also being happening. So always remember that whatever product you are getting and the information which is written on the product, it should be similar one, right? There should be no any kind of difference. Okay, so we have discussed all the points which is necessary, right? In the next lecture we are going to see the upcoming points, right? So thank you very much for today's lecture.